Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we are going to be trying to continue our push to Mythic. I've been drafting a whole bunch this month because there is an RCQ that I'm going to be playing in that's limited, and I really like this draft set. So we're going to kind of go to the best of one ladder in Standard. This is a list I've been having success with. I'm just trying out something new. So mono red is like 20% of the meta. So I was being a little bit greedier in my earlier versions. I was playing 3 up the Beanstalks, and I was playing a Seed Shark in place of Celestis. I've trimmed both of those, played 2 Virtues of Persistence instead, just giving us early removal, life gain, and then another win con. Beanstalk's been very good. The one thing I did with the mana base is I want to have another access to black mana. So we're trying Restless Cottage in place of the Myrex. Both fill the need of a creature utility land. This can make us food tokens. I want to try to see how this plays in over the Myrex as well. But core the deck, ramp out early, and then play your top end of Virtue, Herd Migration, or Atraxa as your primary win cons. Archangels can also carry pretty hard. Same with like Topiary Stompers, just in terms of offense, defense. And anytime you, with the Beanstalk out, like Leyline's 1 mana, draw a card. Herd Migration, if you cast, can draw you card. Atraxa draws cards off drawing cards. So lots of kind of utility in that sense there. Ossification, Leyline Binding are all important things. So I'm like 11-1 with this deck between like mobile and untapped. We're closing in on Diamond 2. My only loss was to Mono Red, which was on the play and had a nutty draw. Swiss Spear into Swiss Spear, Monstrous Rage into Squee into Godric and then Squee triggers Godric. So I had the Sunfall in hand, but my life total was 0. I think on the play we probably get that one, but even then it was a little close with that. So we'll see how this goes. As much as anything, I'm just trying to see how some of these lines play out. So against an aggressive deck, we're good. Against a slower deck, then I can set up turn 3 ramp. We have all our colors, so prioritizing getting the black down early here, because if I need it for the Virtue, I have access to it. Okay. So given that we're not going to be killing anything this turn, I think we just pass turn. And we play with fire to the face. So we have a decision here. We can either go Stomper for another white source, which probably will be the line, to be honest. I don't really want to kill the Scoundrel here. And then that gives me access to either Archangel of Wrath or Ossification. So I get double removal spell next turn anyways. So we will do that. We'll take another hit here. We get the second white here. So if we get untapped land, we have Archangel. Otherwise, I have double removal spell. Okay, so Godric comes down. So here, get rid of Godric. Get rid of Charming Scoundrel. I just want to keep my life total high enough here. Like, we might be getting hit by Godric again next turn. Might be wrong, but I think we take the line anyways. So we're going to take 4 here. Untap line to be really good. Another Atraxa. So we do need to hit 1 untapped line next turn. But this will at least let me block Godric if needed. Untapped line's pretty much GG. Honestly, just any land at this point, or anything to get a land, because then having a 4/4 blocker is also important. Like, the worst draw is probably Celestis. So 6 points of damage for them to get in for 3. Virtue's also not bad. Come on. Tons of lands in this deck. 19 still left. That's a big draw. Big draw. Interesting. Going play with fire here. Setting up the scry over the extra point of damage, keeping on top. Sunfall. Not gonna do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we're short like every which way. Very annoying. Very annoying. Literally just needed anything, like any land at point. Monstrous Rage, that's a very sketch keep for them. Because if I drop Atraxa, then we win there. So that's just kind of the variance of the game. We were a land away from winning that in multiple different ways. We have a blocker, we have a bunch of different things to do there. I think that keeps very, very sketch, because like if we had any sort of removal, leyline binding, anything like that, then they're in a bit of a rough spot. Still think it's right the way we kind of approach that with like ossificating the creature there, but sometimes you just don't draw lands. We saw how like the life gain could offset there, and they had to have like double burn, otherwise we gain at least 3 life, gives us an extra turn. So this hand's not going to work. We keep drawing all our Atraxas. We'll keep this hand. I think we put Invasion back. Okay, Humans isn't as explosive. Especially if that's their line. Because like I can fog them for next turn. I want to save Ossification for Adeline if they have it. Hit me for 5 here. No, Adeline is good. Need second whites. Okay, Leyline Binding's also nice. So, fortunately don't have blue. I'm gonna take this chance to just play this out. So notably, this can blow up my enchantments. I think we get rid of that. They need 2 counters on it to take advantage of it. And I'm doing that also because the Angel can deal with Intrepid Adversary. Okay, we have up the Beanstalk here. I think this turn... Taking 8 is just a lot of damage here. So I think we do that. Next turn, my Angel could come down. Deal with Thalia. Getting rid of Thalia here. Curse of the Werefox is fine, I think. because I can just Leyline Binding and then Ambush Viper them. I think I do want to cycle. They can gain 2 life here. I think that's still fine. So let them scry first. Don't give them the information. We get to draw a card here, blow them up, and then just kind of go to town. And then, so I get the card draw off that, I get the cycle, we find Atraxa, we find Leyline Bindings, we find whatever, and then we kind of go that way there, which also works really nice. So when we find lions, the deck does what it wants to do. And like we saw, the mono white deck's just not nearly as explosive, especially when they're trying to play like a disruption-based game. The fact that their removal oftentimes is not like actual removal. They had a fair... So they were playing cautiously into our sweeper, but that actually played out well, given the configuration of our hand. If they were to kind of commit more, we wouldn't have kept up with ace. So the presence of sweepers does get your opponent to play a little more linear, or like passive. I think in this matchup as the aggro deck, you have to kind of commit to it. Opponent goes first. I have 2 draws and to hit another green source. I think we keep this. Perfect. So depending what happens here. Even better, just don't play anything. In this matchup, we should do pretty well. We can just go over the top of our opponent. Especially if they're missing lands. We'll get a white source here. They'll kill Topiary Stomper, I really don't care. It's just us getting our land drops. Because the thing is, at most they're going to be playing Gix Command, and that doesn't actually really achieve much. We're going to get another... Probably... Okay, so we drew the white. I could go Topiary Stomper, but it's very likely that they get a... I'm going to do that, and then probably just get another black. Play the white here. So I could just Herd Migration next turn. I can also get Virtue going. Okay, so... I mean, how do they just beat me using Virtue to steal their stuff? I guess this is safer this turn. Because I can attack into Liliana. Like, we get blown out by Path to Peril, but if they're mainboarding Path to Peril, that's fine. Okay. Could see Liliana here.
One of your friends has to leave.
So they're at 5 mana, so they still have a turn. So we'll get rid of this. We kill Lily, kill that, throw some damage there. We had an untapped land. It was basically just like free to do Virtue there.
We're supposed to go.
I think because my next turn anyways is going to be Virtue, I'm just going to go face here and just try to close this game out as quick as possible. Because now, like, Gix Command won't sweep up my board. I can just push through extra damage, and then I play my Virtue there. So getting ahead on lines, they're good. The black matchup's probably going to have a tough go of things. They need discard, like, duress style effects, which in best of one they typically don't play. So it makes it a little worse, all things considered. Where are we at? Diamond 3. See if we hit Diamond 2. Serpers have been leggy recently. Especially in that, if we get Beanstalk down in that matchup, like, we draw so many cards. It's a little painful if they have Shieldred, but between 8 Enchantment Exiles for 1 to 2 mana, usually, Sunfalls, the Traxa outpacing them with life gain, you can usually get ahead there. And is good. So depending what opponent does, we have a lot of options with how this hand's looking. So I don't think I want to play into Make Disappear here. I'm just going to Herd Migration. I need red mana. So I'll have double white. I could use double green, actually. We called the Make Disappear there. So I could go Celestis here, but I think I want to do up the Beanstalk, get my card draw, and then just pass the turn. They're only going to have a few Wandering Emperors, so if we could just keep Leyline Binding, we draw cards that way. And the more spells like this that they counter. So I do want access to double black. We'll just pass turn here. I can start looting these Sunfalls away, which is nice. And then next turn I just do that. So control deck, mana screwed, we get ahead. Take the easy win. So other than mono red just like coming in quick. Pretty sweet, all things considered. Do one more for the content. Games go by quick, though. Considering we're like a control ES deck. We're controlling, but we pivot hard. Like, unlike that Esper deck, like, we play interaction, but like our games 1 minute, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes. Previous to that, I was like, I played mono white mid-range. That was a 13-minute, but 1 minute, 9 minutes against Abzan, but that guy was roping me and just kept going nice. Alrighty. Opponent goes first. Let's try this. We're on rank floor. I think I want access to Cottage for this on 2 potentially, if they're an aggressive deck. Okay, well, they're just not going to do anything, so I'm happy with that. I'll get in all my tap lines. Circuit Menda. I'm just going to take this opportunity. They're probably like a rampish style deck. Going for bigger mana, so... So they are ramping, we are ramping. I want a black source and another white source, probably. I have blue. I have white. I mean, we got triple attract, so we're going to draw so many cards. Some sort of rampy style strat, but I'll just draw a bunch of cards. This. Get probably this. I guess maybe not. I don't know, we'll see. Oh, this is actually kind of sweet because I get to go... Leyline Binding on Karn Silex now. Now I do need to discard, so we'll get rid of the battle. It could be on like Farewell or something. You get 2/2 bears. Sure. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Probably play out Ossification here. So I could get the battle flipped, but I think I just want to close this game out, to be honest. I have one blue source. They have a second field, so they can take me off that. Maybe we just get that. In case they're like on Nissa or something. So Blast Zone could tick up a lot this turn, get them the Karn Silex. They have like tons and tons of mana. The nice thing, field can't target basics. Could just hit a land drop. I could do Topiary Stomper, but I think we just pass. Their turn's going to be pretty much this Blast Zone. Oh, they could only put it on 5. I could have gone Virtue there. Revelry coming down. So, take a bunch of life there. I think I'm just gonna thin out my deck here a bit. The red source. I'd love like a leyline binding. Like a Shigeki. I could go there, that's 6. They gain 2 life. This is when it leaves the battlefield, they draw a card. This makes them 2 bears. So we have 2 ossifications. So I can eat at least 2 of their creatures. So just sneaking out of enough damage here. Okay, Revelry keeps him alive. We probably could have been a little bit more aggressive. So they're gonna gain like stupid amounts of mana. But I think as long as we have Sunfall in hand, we're okay. I don't think they can kill us at like sorcery speed. In case I get Leyline Binding, I just do the 3. Last turn. Weird game. We have a lot of basics. We have 5 more basics for these Field of Ruins. So I think we Atraxa try to find Leyline Binding to get rid of Virtue. that. Let's get a basic, an angel. We'll gain some life here, but I have Angel that can potentially be the reach damage I need. They could Shigeki to get some stuff back, but it's probably fine. Like, they need a sweeper here. All right, 27 cards. Okay, well, that's a lot of life they just gained. I think we just do this. Try to set up for next turn. We got a black source. Like, opponent's not going to take us off basics. We're pretty heavy on them. Three cards. So Titania won't do like huge amounts here. And like Shigeki can get back. A lot of weird cards. A lot of incidental life gain, which has been kind of annoying. I don't know what their clear win condition is yet. Farewell. You hate to see it. They can just keep like spamming farewell here. From your graveyard to your hand. They'll have like infinite mana. And the problem is like I don't have Beseju or anything. Also don't have creatures. Let's force them. They can get like their whole graveyard. this point I have to just try to hope that we can outdraw them. They charge up for an Atraxa. So if they're gonna like heavy commit here, that's fine. We just do this. Because we're just going to try to get them to draw out their deck. I don't... Should we play this? Like, they're probably going to... Oh, they have the thing for 7 anyways, so... Let's just say go. They could have, like, another Shigeki. How many... I don't have a way to exile the graveyard. $17 to $22. A really weird matchup. Okay, so they went artifacts there. So I think the line I have to try is with like Virtue. They are at 16. So they draw a card here. They Cosmic Rebirth. That resolves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 15 cards. Alright, you finally Stone Rained me. Do they have 2 Shigeki? Most likely, because then you just loop them. Alright, 14 cards. Get rid of a bear here. Do that. Okay, so they're on depopulate as well. I get a Traxa that forces them off a land. They have Cosmic Rebirth that they can buy back. But they could end step do that on the Atraxa. I think we do this. Just kind of keep them off lands or creatures. It's not great by any means. They could also just make like a bunch of Myrex tokens. All that life gain starting to hurt us. One fewer land. Like, we probably lost this, to be honest, but just everything gaining life has been very annoying. And the fact, like, we're not playing Passeju for this virtue, but even then, like, it doesn't do too much because they're just going to keep kind of cycling. They're making infinite mana. I think at this point they can just keep channeling back and forth. Really annoying. Yeah, we're basically dead. We're gonna they're gonna have 13 cards, but they're gonna be able to demonstrate the loot multiple times. So cool deck, but just slightly edged us. We were hoping they didn't have the farewell, but once they establish that loop, I can't really do anything about it. I'm not going to be able to interact with the graveyard, and they're always going to be having an answer at that point. In any case, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great one. Stay safe out there.